Last week, the February budget and economic forecast was released, showing a projected budget surplus of $1.5 billion for the next biennium. Joining me to talk more about the forecast is the Commissioner of Minnesota Management and Budget, Myron Franz. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here. This is my 11th forecast, you know.
That's a lot of forecasts.
A lot of forecasts.
So you are really an expert now.
I know what I know, but I also know what I don't know.
Well, let's begin with what you know. What is your overall assessment of this forecast?
Well, it's interesting. This is when we were going through the documentation and the numbers, and we started getting close to getting ready to release it last Thursday, we realized how boring it was because nothing had really changed. The economics were really similar. The growth patterns were similar. We were seeing a very, very small change in the numbers. And then, of course, the coronavirus popped up. But in terms of the overall perspective, we increased the budget reserve, or the budget balance, by $181 million, $96 million increase in revenue, which is 0.2%, very, very small. $91 million reduction in spending, which is also almost 0.2% reduction, very, very small. $6 million more into the stadium reserve. So all in all, from an economic point of view and a numbers point of view, very, very stable outlook for the economy with the projected dip in 22-23 that we see coming. But it was fairly straight on until the coronavirus.
Right, which is my next question, because with every forecast, there's a list of risks. And in this forecast document, one of the risks listed was a viral outbreak, like we are experiencing currently. So considering that that risk is now a reality, how dramatic of an impact might this have?
We're not certain yet, but one of the things we're trying to do is trying to figure out how to assess how quickly things are going to change. The unusual thing about this change or this risk was that it was so apparent and changing day by day as we were giving the forecast, which really helps us remind people how much risk there are in these forecasts because they're always projecting out. So the revenues we projected we're going to collect for the next 16 months, they're just projections. And so now we know that this outbreak could change that. One of the things we've gotten some new information from IHS, our international and national consultants, and they are describing that this may be a more prolonged effect, but they're still estimating a short-term duration. So depending upon how long it lasts. We know today that the Federal Reserve reduced their basis points in their interest rate by half, or 50 points, which is a big change, and it was not expected for another week or two. So it's fairly dramatic. I think the Federal Reserve wanted to make sure that the stimulus money was there available for people. We are concerned that this could have short-term, serious effects, and so that's one of the reasons that I'm going to be urging caution to the governor and to the legislature is that even though we have a surplus or balance for 2021, we don't know what the effect of this will be yet.
The forecast, as you mentioned, did project continued growth, albeit slower in the out years, like 22-23, growth was supposed to slow down. But with the coronavirus making things uncertain, there is a possibility, I've heard pundits say, for a recession. How does recession change the picture for the state?
Yeah, those projections are changing. When we first got the forecast from IHS, there was no projection of a recession in their projections, and they haven't changed that yet. But so when an economic downturn occurs, what you see happening is revenues drop very, very fast, and the demand for services goes up pretty quickly. So that's that pressure that you feel. And one of the reasons we want to keep the budget reserve full is that we want to have those resources available because you never know how quickly you're going to have to respond. You want to give yourself some breathing time to make decisions long term about revenue and spending, not have to make them within a matter of several days or weeks sometimes.
Well, and you mentioned the budget reserve, which right now is full at its statutory
$2.539 billion.
Yes, exactly. But in order to balance the budget last session, they did take money from the reserve in the next biennium, which makes it lower. So it's a little tricky here because if the economy there is a downturn, then the reserve is actually less in out years. Why is it important to keep that budget reserve full?
Well, a couple reasons. Number one is that we may need the money sooner rather than later. So, and taking it out in the future is really the exact opposite that you want to do. So, I mean, we did that $491 million change at the end of last session to balance the books and get a deal done. But the statute requires that the reserve be used for an economic downturn. So we didn't really use it for that purpose. So that's why we want to put it back. And it looks like 22, 23 is when the economic slowdown could happen at a minimum, and we want to have it full at that point, but it could even be sooner. So now that it's full, we want to take action this session to leave it full because we have the resources available to pay for that spending out of the current surplus.
In every budget forecast that I have been at, which is not as many as you, there's always a statement made that the forecast does not take inflation into account. Statements generally are also made that it should. However, Senate Finance Chair Julie Rosen said that including inflationary spending automatically increases the size of government, and every 2 years we should, validate what we're spending our money on. So from your point of view, why should inflation be part of the forecast in all categories?
Well, it's a really great question because the goal of the forecast is to inform policymakers about what kind of resources do they have and what should they spend going forward. The risk, after we deliver the forecast, the risk goes over to them. And we believe that the spending side needs to match the revenue side. The revenue has inflation included in the projections for revenue. And so that accurately projects the amount of revenue we're going to be collecting over the next several years. We think that the spending should match that so you know whether you have structural balance. Right now, we have structural balance because our revenues are growing faster than our spending. But if you take into account inflation, that wouldn't be true. And that's not an accurate presentation of the facts. Because remember, the legislature passed programs and they said, do these programs for $100 million. Well, if inflation eats that up, we can't really enact the legislature's directive if the money has been eaten up by inflation.
One final question, because it's a bonding year. Governor Walz has proposed a bonding package of about $2 billion. The House has proposed more, the Senate less. From your fiscal perspective, what is the right size for a bonding bill and why? Well, right now,
we estimated that the governor's bonding bill of about $2 billion with some other funding mechanisms too would cost about $180 million over the next 3 years. Well, that was the precise amount that the forecast went up since November. So we figured that was just a little bit of luck. But we think right now we can afford a $2 billion bonding bill, and it really takes care of a lot of local and state projects that we need to do. So we really feel confident that our bonding bill and local jobs and local projects plan really does cover the state, provides access to really important funds for local and state projects. So we feel really good about that, but we're certainly willing to listen to other ideas.
Commissioner Myron Frans, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.